It's Saturday. It's not Sunday. It's Saturday. It's still late though. I switched my live streams to Saturdays now, but I actually kind of want to do these a little earlier in the evening, but today didn't quite work out. But anyway, just FYI, I would like to do these around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Mountain Time. But for today, it's, 10:14. Anyways, back from Knobcon. I'm wearing my shirt. Cool piano dude with a mini Moog on the front. Thought that was pretty neat. Gonna do kind of a video just talking about Knobcon. My girlfriend went with me, so I'll have her. We'll kind of talk about the experience a little bit more in depth with just a standalone video. But for today, I just wanted to talk about kind of how that went. It was a lot of fun. There was quite a few people there, and there was a lot to do. Just the event area itself, there were so many booths to get through, and I mean, 3 days you definitely need. Well, the first night was kind of like a performance evening. Obviously, if you've been following any of my coverage of Knobcon, I met up with Paulo, who's of Synthmania here on YouTube and runs the synthmania.com website. Super cool guy. He helped my channel out quite a bit at the early part of this year, so really was cool to meet him and watch him play live with a couple little synths and a circuit. Did a great job. But anyways, yeah, so Friday night was that. It was just kind of performances, some live music with visuals. It was a lot of fun to see that. And then Saturday, they had the main event area, or the showroom area, basically, where the vendors were. There was a area for DIY synth builds, which I tried to get into. I should have pre-ordered parts for that because they actually didn't have any there. They brought a few extra kits. I was going to do the little credit card oscillator build, but they actually didn't have any extras when I went in there on Sunday, which was when that was scheduled. But anyways, a few other spots that I actually didn't get a chance to check out, unfortunately. But Chicago, it was in Schaumburg, I believe is what it's called. It's like a suburb of Chicago, which I had never been to. I've been to Chicago before, but I was in like downtown. Like we went to like Wrigley Field and all that kind of stuff. So this was a little different being in the suburbs. I actually kind of liked it. It was kind of low key in a decent little area. There was like a little mall nearby. So just kind of stayed in the hotel and then walked around to get dinner and things like that. Like it worked out really well. Oh, what's up, Dos Goss and Hayes? How you guys doing? Let's give a shout out to the chat room there. Yeah, so a couple things. I got to try a Polylog finally, the Korg Polylog, and I really like it. So that's probably next on my list of things to get. The Quantum, I got to try that out. And it's pretty freaking awesome. I've had one on pre-order for a few months, so I'm still waiting. And I did ask the guys at Korg, what's the holdup, and they pretty much said, well, they're just basically the distributor, so they don't know exactly, but they said they think it has something to do with the FTAR keyboard. The key beds have been delayed, or there's some issue there or something. I don't know what's going on. It has something to do with the key bed, supposedly. So hopefully they'll get that straightened out, and I'll get one soon. And as soon as I do, it will be behind me, and we'll tear into that for probably a bunch of videos. Let's see what else. So much modular synths at Knobcon, it was crazy. And I'm not a modular guy. I think it's bad for somebody who's already addicted to synthesizers to then get into modular at this stage. I might, though. There was the guys from Erogenous Tones had a really cool video digital synthesizer called Structure, and I have a video on the channel of that. Check it out if you haven't. It uses fractal images, and it's really cool. Like I have for my live setup, like an LED curtain, and I've got a dedicated PC that just runs visuals for that curtain, and I use fractals and things like that for that. It would be nice to get a nice little module that just handles that for me, and then just run that into the DMX decoder or whatever. I can't remember what that thing is called. the little bit that hooks up to the curtain. But yeah. So let's see what else. So I didn't get as much video as I was hoping because I kind of didn't know what to cover. But luckily, Behringer actually had a booth there. They weren't actually on the list of vendors, so I was kind of surprised, like delightfully surprised, of course, because they had the RD808 there, and I got to hook up to that and listen to it, and did a little interview with the guys there. And then the crazy thing is, on Sunday night, after they debuted the 909, like the concept, the prototype, we were sitting out front, my girlfriend and I, of the hotel, and the gentleman that I interviewed, he was sitting right there. And so I had a chat with him for a while. He was a real nice guy. He's one of the design guys over there for Music Group. And we had a nice chat with him for about 30, 40 minutes, something like that. Really nice guy. And that was really neat. They've got a bunch of synths in the pipeline, he said. Oh, and someone was asking about the Pro 1. I asked him about that. He said that they were supposed to have one there, but it didn't get sent for whatever reason. So I think that means it's still in the works. And they had kind of a small table there, so they didn't have a lot of room. They had a Neutron, I believe a DeepMind 6, the RD808, and then the 909 prototype. So they didn't have a lot of real estate, and they probably, because they knew where they're going to be dropping this 909 prototype, didn't want to bring along the Pro 1, I guess. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I think that's still a thing that they're working on. So if anyone's interested in that, I think you're going to be okay. Let's see what else. Let's see. Hayes is asking if I'm getting a DFAM. No, not going to get a DFAM. I will probably get both of those Behringer 808 909 clones, though. They looked really good. The 808 sounded nice. And mostly because they're cheap. And I'm curious to see how good they are in the studio. Having dedicated outputs, in my opinion, kind of puts them above even the Roland boutiques, which I love, like like this guy. Like I use this all the freaking time, but it doesn't have the dedicated outs, which means it's a pain. I do my sequencing and then I have to record the separate tracks individually, and it just takes a lot more time. But the form factor, I like the form factor of the boutiques, for the drum machines especially. But the main drawback to these is not enough outputs, in my opinion. So I'm curious to see what that's like. And again, they said they've got like 10 different products in the works, so we'll see what that means. It's pretty exciting though, and they've done a good job. The mini mode clone was really good. The DeepMind 12, other than the issue I had with mine initially, I still have it. It works great. So I think they're going in the right direction, and I gave them props for that. Let's see. Any other cool stories that I have? Not really. I had some deep dish Chicago pizza, which I had been craving since the last time I was there, which was like 5 or 6 years ago. So we definitely made sure we stopped at Lou Malatani's, or I can't remember the name of the place. It's like one of the best pizza places out there, I guess. It was delicious though, of course. And that's about it, I guess, for Knobcon. I did run into John, the suit and tie guy, basically, but he was right in the middle of setting up a bunch of stuff, so I didn't get to really talk to him. I am going to try and reach out to him and see if I can get him on the channel for an interview, though. I'd like to see how kind of the numbers were for this year, and how he's feeling about it. It seemed like there was a lot of people there, so I don't know how many. I don't have a head count on tickets sold or anything, but it seemed like it was pretty busy. Let's see. Yeah, I can't think of much else to talk about. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys in the chat have any questions. The breakout sessions. So Scott's asking how were the breakout sessions. I'm not sure what you mean there. You mean like just the jam parties or whatever they had going on? If that's what you're talking about, I actually didn't get a chance to check any of those out. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Paulo, I spent on Friday, he spent a good chunk of time with Sylvette, my girlfriend, and I, just chatting with us. I don't know. It felt like a good 40 minutes or so. He was kind of waiting to play, and he was right before the headliners, which were Suit and Tie Guy and another gentleman. So we kind of walked around all the different rigs, and they had a Quantum on stage there and some other stuff. So I was like kind of checking that out. Quantum, I haven't seen one of those in real life yet. But yeah, he talked to us for a long time. It's funny. As soon as I walked in and I saw him, I go, "Hey, Paulo," and he's all, "Hey," big old hug. He's just such a nice guy, such a cool guy. I can't say enough good things about Paulo. Oh, the VPO3. That's the vocoder boutique. It's good. I have one. It's up there. Actually, I could show you. Maybe you can see it. Probably not, though. Nope, it's cut off. In the upper rack there, on my synth rack on the wall. I think you can see it sitting up there. I need to get that thing utilized, but I have so much stuff. It's hard to pick and choose what goes into what. So obviously, recently, as you guys know, I've been working with the UNO Synth, which I have here. And I'm gonna kind of work on the track that I've been working on over the last few weeks. It's almost done, actually, and it sounded really great. But one other thing, yesterday, went over to the Guitar Center with my girlfriend. She's gonna learn to play guitar, and so she had to pick up some strings, and I ended up picking up one of these. So, and I needed to get this actually because I wanted to do kind of a mono synth madness with like the cheap monos that are on the market. So I picked this up, and that'll be fun. I need to get a Matrix Brute. Not a Matrix Brute, I have one of those. The Mini Brute, or the Micro Brute, I'm not sure. Whatever the cheap Arturia mono bass synth is. And then I'll line them all up. The multimedia, the IK Multimedia UNO Synth, the Monologue, the Behringer D, and the SEO2, and then just kind of make a little track. That's kind of the plan for that. So it's a cheap synth, like the Monologue. The cool thing is, man, like it's a good size. Like it's got some kind of heft to it, for the price. I think it's pretty good as well. It's obviously $100 over the UNO Synth, but you can see the $100. So I haven't even powered this on yet. So I haven't even played with it. I got it out of the box, and there's the issue of where do I put it. I really don't have any place to put it. I'll have to put it in Studio B, I think. So anyways, yeah, let's have a listen to the track, guys. Let's see where this is at. The other thing I noticed with this the other day is I had been mixing this in mono and didn't realize it until today. So I switched the mono off in Ozone 8. Let me pull it up. So there's a mono button down here, and this was activated. And you can't see that, huh? Let me switch to computer shot here. Yeah, so stereo mono. So the mono button was on, and I hadn't looked in here for quite a while when I was working on this. So I went in here, was trying to do some tweaks to the mix, and was like, oh shit, it's in mono, and opened it up, and I was like, wow. So that happens sometimes where I'll forget I'm in mono, and then you turn the mono off, and you've got all that stereo coming at you. So I had to tone some of that down. Actually, I had kind of too much stereo going on. So anyway, yeah, let's play what I got here for you. And then I kind of want to poke around with this a little bit more. It's almost done. I'm going to probably add some vocals, possibly with the speak, maybe. I'm not sure. But that'll be a different time once I figure out what I'm going to call the song and what kind of vocals I think would work. So anyway, here we go. that's it. So composition wise, I think this is done. There was a couple things I noticed. Whenever I get to this kind of stage, I start listening to it on every piece of audio equipment I have, like my phone, my car, surround system, sound bar, like everything I can find. And I noticed that on the sound bar, like some of the percussion sounds a little bit odd. And obviously there's a couple of claps in here that I had added in part of this little build-up that I think I need to change or do something with. So basically, for anyone who's not aware what this is utilizing, I'm using two different UNO Synth bass sounds and then kind of like a lead melody and then some noise for some effects. And then the only thing that's not obviously UNO Synth are the percussion, and then there is a little bit of Omnisphere for like some background kind of noises. But this is almost all UNO Synth with just some automation on the filter cutoff and filter envelope. And that's it pretty much. So I think it's coming out really nice, sounding really good, I think. So it's just a matter of fixing some little tiny things here and there and adding those little final touches to the mix, and we're good. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna jump in here and take a look at, so especially like this part here. Jump in here. This is just some of the claps, and I need to work on this. So I've already got some effects on here, but it sounds like it's too front and center. So what we can do is back some of this off. I can also add a little bit of wetness to this ping pong delay and see if that kind of helps. Volume kind of low, but I think that sounds better. So let's check on this part. So this other section here, snare kind of section, I have a snare crescendo, but I'm also automating the line. Is it let me see if I can find it. I can't remember which sample it is here. The transpose. I'm adjusting the transpose, so it's like all the way high and then coming back down. It's kind of an old trick. If we come in here and solo this. It almost sounds like water. Kind of cool, and that's because of the additional effects that I've added onto the chain here, and it's just some EQ specifically on this sample, and then there's kind of a general EQ here, and then ping pong delay along with the art acoustic reverb. It sounds great, and then some compression. So yeah, that might be fixed. I'll have to do some listening to that. The other thing I need to do is mix this with a little bit more headroom, because right now with the Isotope Insight plugin, I use this to monitor overall loudness levels, and I just don't have a lot of room to adjust this. So what's happening is, you see this? My limiter is just having to work really, really hard. Especially when we get into the nitty-gritty down here. Look at that. Just pegging it. And unfortunately, I think that takes away some of the dynamic range in part of the track. So what I need to do is actually pull all the levels down to 0 and then just bring the different elements in kind of one at a time. And you can see here, like at that level, this is like super loud. This is too loud, basically. So that's the other thing I needed to do here. So what we'll do, I've got these all kind of sectioned off with their respective sounds. So we can just bring all these down to 0. And then bring them all up. But at the same time, I need to watch on the master channel. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show this to you guys, but I need to watch the set of meters here, and just make sure that I have enough to pull down on this without just destroying the dynamics of the song. So I've just hit play, so I'll bring the kick up. And normally I would do this at a decent listening level, but because I'm streaming here, I've got it pretty quiet actually, so. I'll probably have to do this again after the stream or tomorrow or something, but. You can see now I've just added just a ton of headroom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Event Horizon plugin, and it's in clip mode, so I'm going to increase the level here. Time I'm watching the inside here for the loudness level. should be -10. So we're about there, and this is like the loudest part of the track. So and again, I'll have to check this mix with more volume, but so that should pretty much do it for that, I think. So I guess let's give it another playthrough. So I've already recorded this whole sequence into the arrangement view, which is nice, because normally what I'll do when I'm kind of starting to tweak things or starting to add like little sounds here and there or things like that in certain spots, like I will do a full arrangement recording of triggering the scenes here, and then just kind of play it back. I'll also bounce the track out as audio, listen to it, like I said, on every piece of audio equipment I can find. But you can see here we've got some headroom back, and that's nice, and I'm not having to kill this limiter. Hey, I'm perfect. How's it going, buddy? And Stavali, 1966. Good morning, sir. He's in the UK. Good morning to you. The other thing I need to look at, actually, since I changed all my levels, is in the multiband compression. I probably need to do some minor tweaking here. Since I reduced levels, I need to drop my thresholds here. So in these spots, you can see here, we're not even hardly hitting the compressor at all, but later on in the track, when it goes kind of bonkers, it's gonna smash it. Oh, Imperfect's just finishing up a live track. Cool, man. Ivali said he's picked up one of the Unos. Thinks they're ace. Yeah, I think it's the best value, feature-wise and like sound fidelity. Like I love the way this thing sounds for the price. Like, which is why I'm making a whole song basically using one. And I talked to the guys at the IK Multimedia booth and just told them, hey, you guys do an awesome job. Hopefully this will lead to them creating more products, more hardware stuff. It'd be great. then just curious how it sounds in mono. Here it just goes. Just completely bring it in. So again, that's how I was mixing for the last 2 sessions with the mono turned on. Whoops. It's good to check, and it's okay to mix that way. I think it helps get a better overall mix, honestly, but I did forget about it. So I think that's going to pretty much do it for tonight here, gentlemen. I know not the longest stream, but this is kind of where I'm at. I'm going to go through again and just check the gain staging with everything in the overall mix. Make sure I'm not overdoing my maximizer here. And I think I might need to do a little bit of EQ work on the low end. I'd like to hear just a little bit more weight on the bottom, but I think it sounds pretty good. It sounded really good in my car, which has a nice audio system in it. And it sounded pretty good basically on everything I've played it on, but I might do that. I'm going to do some A-B comparisons with some reference tracks by professional artists and just kind of see how it sounds. If I need to make some adjustments there, I'll do that. And then it'll be off to releasing this as a single on the label, on my label Overclocked Music. So when that happens, it takes like at least 6 weeks for everything to kind of get all together, and then I'll put up one of those kind of music video things that I do on the channel when it comes out. But I'm really digging it, and again, it's all pretty much with this little Uno here. Pretty cool synth. And with the editor, I need to get the editor installed. I didn't have time to do that tonight, but maybe I'll do a little video on that in the future. The other thing, and Daskas had mentioned this because he picked one of these up also. It seems to kind of chew through batteries pretty quick, which is true actually. When I was working on this, I worked on this last night, and before I was done with the evening, now granted I worked on it for a few hours, but I had put a fresh set of batteries, and by the end it was dead. So I don't know if maybe I got shitty batteries. It could be, but it seemed to chew through them pretty quick. And there's 4 AA's in here, and I did that because plugging directly into USB bus power is fine. But when I go to record that audio, I always get that ground loop, the ground hum, like the noise that you hear through the USB connection when you're powering the system that way. You put batteries in here and it goes away. It's similar to the boutiques, or basically the same way. So you need, for me, I had to put batteries in, record all my stems, because obviously I've only got one Uno, so record the MIDI, switch my patch over, record all that. And anyway, to get rid of the hum that I had originally from a couple weeks ago, I have batteries in here and then recording each stem separately. It's kind of how that works. But IK Multimedia, if you want to send me like a couple more of these, that'd be awesome. I'm just kidding. You don't need to do that. I'll buy some more if I need some more. But yeah, so I think this is coming along good, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, how I'm doing on this. Let me know if you like the Uno. If you hate it, it's fine. Let me know. We'd all love to hear about it. Oh, Daska said the factory batteries lasted like 4 hours on his Uno synth. Mine, I didn't time it, but I put the factory batteries in here as well when I started working on this song, and they died pretty quick. And then again, I put new batteries in it yesterday, and they're dead. So it is what it is, I guess. You could always plug like a cell phone adapter into the USB and plug that into like a wall outlet, and then use the MIDI DIN connectors. The problem is then you start to really get kind of a rat's nest back here. But that's another way to kind of get around the distorted audio, not distorted, but the hum that you get when you power over USB. Panasonic end loop rechargeable batteries. Do those last longer? I guess DOSCast, let me know if you find a good set of batteries then that it'll last more than a few hours. Because when I get in here, like, it'll be on for at least 4 or 5 hours. So I guess I could switch it to bus power and then only switch it to battery when I'm bouncing the audio to a stem, but I don't know. Anyway, I think that's going to do it, guys. Thank you, gentlemen in the chat. We had DOSCast in here today. We had Stavali. Sorry if I'm messing your name up. Stavali 1966. Imperfect. We had Mike in here. We had Hayes in here. So thank you guys for being here. Next weekend, I'm going to try and do this at about 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So you gentlemen in the UK, it might be a little early for you over there. But if you have nothing else to do, I guess wake up early if you want. We'll see. I mean, if people don't really join at that early point in time, maybe I'll go back to doing them at 10 o'clock here, because that's close to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK at least. So, and I know I have several of you guys over there across the pond that watch the channel. So, anyway, I'm yammering. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more Uno track stuff when that's out to press, hopefully in the next few weeks. And until next time, I'll be back. Not sure what I'm going to do next week yet, but I'll think of something. And have a good night, guys, or good morning, I guess, to you gentlemen in the UK. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.